Just waiting a bit. Okay, I hope, normally I have the tendency to move a little bit around or so on, so don't worry about it if you just miss me, yeah? So, okay, I missed about a bit with the time. Let's see if everything works up. Okay, what to expect here at the moment? This is part of my personal web flow, yeah? And it's a little bit chaos, so some of it will be live. No, actually, I recorded most of this stuff, so you wouldn't have that painful experience, something not working, or there's an update right at the moment, to save your sanity. And first of all, my workflow was not perfect, yeah? So most probably you have implemented some ideas which are far cleverer than mine, but I hope once in a while there'll be something useful for you. So that's about what you can expect. Yeah? So just relax and we're all gonna die. So basically, what shall we do? So build some joomla website, okay. Install the usual suspects, JCE, a Kiba backup, whatever you prefer. And also make the website load a little faster. Yeah? I'm sorry for Windows users. This is majorly about my Mac development workflow. But some of the tools can be also used for Windows. And also I can name also some alternatives for Windows user. Took some time for me, and everybody told me, oh, why don't you develop with a Mac? And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I've got my big servers there, and no, I changed. And there are a lot of things that makes life a little easier, especially as a web developer. So, not required, but it can be useful. So, a thing that I really like is Alfred app plus Power Tools, and it helps you to make automated workflows. For example, something which I like to do is start-stop all development apps. So all the time I found myself did always the same movements. Fire up local web server, start browser, start up EDA, also additional text editor, then stuff like this. And I always did it the same thing. And I started recognizing when I just start my work, it takes me about 4 minutes until I'm ready. So I thought, okay, maybe it's getting a little easier. So, yeah. Doesn't the video start? Okay, just see. And some it starts the video on auto and some not. So. Yeah, right. That's a pity. Why doesn't it start? Lief die Animation? Okay, normally it should start. Just.
Go back and.
Okay. So I just put in space. I started my own development apps, and then magic happens. Windows appear on the screen. And the nice thing is, these are the windows I also need. So I got my browser, I got my Sublime Text, CodeKit, PHP Storm, MemPro server. So, and also when my wife says, please come, food is ready. I just have got one automated workflow and everything just shuts down. It's nice and convenient. So how to do that? With the power tools in Alfred, there are certain ways how you can set that. So you can have a short key, you have here like a keyword description, I'll put there a small icon there, and then there I've just got multiple files and multiple programs or apps to be run. And now I got also the same with quitting. And as you see, I can here also run scripts, but it'll be looking a little bit more like that. Like tell application Firefox to quit, etc. And then they just close down and that's it. But which is also very cool, you can import workflows. And for example, which I really like, open folder and Sublime Texts. So I open up as Sublime Text already with the appropriate folder I want to work on, which has all the files there. So it's kind of file explorer on the left-hand side. And does anybody of you use Font Awesome? Yeah? Okay, then you most probably like the workflow for the Font Awesome. Okay. Oh, this is nice. I do not see the animations on the screen here that I have, so I just have to turn around and watch it. So now I got here everything opened up. I got all my files. I can navigate it, open them. That's really nice, just by default. Yeah, I just have to download the workflow and then just make a shortcut and then start typing and it just gets going. So Font Awesome, it's one of the web fonts I really like. It's really nice, especially if you're using Bootstrap because it's fully implementable. So what we do here at the moment, there we have a class here. And what is it? How does it look like? Oh wait, I do not know. So you look up in the list or look up in the web directory what that icon actually is. So what I do right now, I see now, okay, it's an unhappy smiley. So I want to have the other smile, yeah? Or something else. So I just can scroll down what is at my disposal. And when I find something that I liked, I just take that, hit enter, and it's there.
This is Alfred doing all this for you.
Yep, that's a workflow for Alfred. Oh, so, okay, just delete it and that's my smiley. And that's really convenient way. Basically, if you do not know it totally by heart, but a lot of things. And so there's also the workflow for that. And if I take a look at it, okay, I'm out, yeah? But there are other people who wrote that cool script and I use it. I'm really thankful that they made that. Makes my life easier. Next thing, Sublime Text. Nice text editor. And what I really fell in love with is sen coding, emmet coding. So what is it? It's a way of writing HTML and CSS in a very quick, very productive way. It has a disadvantage. You have to be able to think in HTML. If you can do this and know what you'll be doing, then there's a far, far faster way of writing code or HTML. So you got to think first and then code. So for example, I just take this here or this, highlight it, and it all evolves to code. So as you see, some of the things are getting really complicated. Just to show the more advanced you are, it's a little bit like a meditation. Yeah, you just focus on something, what you do, think about it, write a short line, and then it'll just bloats up to the whole normal source code. Something which I really often use is I get some Word or email formatations, and I just want to have very, very plain, basic HTML, nothing special, nothing fancy. So I get the normal code, and I just want to make it in HTML. So, right, I highlight that. Then at the very bottom here, I change it to a headline, and you see here it's changed. Now I want to have paragraphs here all the time. So I just highlight the whole thing, and right at the moment I say here P and an asterisk, which makes all of it paragraphs. And it's a very convenient way. And this is one I like. It's just a way of making the navigation. I say UL, so now please all in LI, and I want to have here a reference link. And now I got my smart mini navigation ready.
I'm sorry, Frank, I don't usually use Sublime Text. Is that a plugin?
There's also, you can use the emmet coding also for other text editors. There's a plugin for Notepad++. There's also, I think nearly every advanced editor at the moment has one or other way how to implement that.
It's called
Emmet coding or Zen coding. Actually, I like the term Zen coding better, but it's not used anymore. It's more Emmet coding at the moment.
It's only for HTML, or it can be also for PHP? Or
It's only for HTML. That. So, but for me, it speeds up a lot of things. Especially, you can just be very sure that there's no funny stuff in there. I mean, you can also configure the JCE editor to delete, for example, Word formatting. Yeah, I mean, everybody here should have at least one time the experience that some secretary just copy and pasted from Word, and then she's wondering why in the website it looks completely different and stuff like this. And you get the call, and somebody blames you for all that unnecessary stuff which is in there. So, but for a lot of time it makes life easier. The next thing, MEM Pro, it's nice for setting up development environment on your local machine. So I do not like to develop on a real life server. I develop on a local machine. Most of the time it works faster, and if I screw something up, nobody sees it. And for Windows users, MEMP has also now I think a beta version out for Windows. I think it's called WAMP, and also there's another way you can use XAMPP. But I think the MEMP family has some very cool advantages because it's kind of easier to use, and you can change some parameters for your liking. So for the moment, here I got here all my local joomla installations. Here I can set the folder, I can see where the files are, and if I hit on that button, I can also go, it opens directly up in the browser. No? So very nice, convenient way of handling things. I could also set it to another directory if I want to try something out, like a quick and dirty test, AB or something, then that'll do the trick. Oh, I got a notice there. So, what can I do? Okay. I was thinking more of a quick and dirty way, not fixing it really. So it makes me able to show you how you can implement a few things. So I just go in PHP and I say, okay, disable errors, warning. Okay, not disable errors, but the warnings notice. And I can change my PHP versions just to test something. Does it run on an old PHP version? Doesn't it? Will my code break if I update the PHP versions? And that's really handy and convenient way of doing it. Yeah? I know some of you guys who just can do that manually, but for me, as a say intermediate geek, this is very nice. So we got a little bit into the preparation stuff. So basic Joomla 3 installation. I really like from Phil Joestrap as a template, which a lot of times I use as a say base foundation for a couple of stuff that I do on my own, just to improve beyond that. So I have a couple of things that I change because normally it's been using less, and I like more Bootstrap SAS. But this is a personal thing. Yeah, and I use PHP Storm for editing the files. We'll get to that later. So I got my template folder, and here, as you can see, here I got all my SAS Bootstrap stuff. So fonts, JavaScripts, SAS style sheets. Okay, PHP Storm. It's also available on Windows. And for me, this is just, yeah, it's a killer. It's really cool. It works fast. It's easy to set up. I tried it with NetBeans, Eclipse, and okay, I could be working on it, but it was not really intuitive. I had trouble setting up the workspaces. And PHP Storm is far easier to get it running, and it works very fast, and the performance is really good. Also, if you're a developer for open source project, it's free. You can, if you prove to them, oh, I'm developing for an open source project, you get the license. Yeah, that's really cool. Working speed is cool. It's fast. It helps you with code suggestions and also small documentation. And there's a lot of things you can configure for your likings, and there are a lot of plugins to be used with it. So even if it's something not doing out of the box, most probably there's a plugin out that does it. You can use external libraries like Joomla Framework or Joomla Libraries, which is very nice because I just want to do not have a whole Joomla project folder there. I just want to use a template. So what I actually do, I just use the template folder for editing and tell PHP Storm, oh, please also include for the syntax the external folders from Joomla, libraries, includes, etc. So, as you see here, external libraries, PHP, and now I have here the normal Joomla stuff that'll be included. So this actually makes your life easier. So if I start doing now some code, okay, this is just a general example right at the moment. To take up the index file, I just create a variable. But this is what most normal PHP. So this case gives me the normal PHP stuff. Yeah, if I start writing, it just tries to autocomplete. So I just use some get variables, and later on I can easily use that variable again. So it makes it really easy to code with it. You do not have to remember everything on your head, which is for a forgettable person like me, very nice. Yes, just as I grew older and tend to forget things. And so you see, there it is. So just suggested me my variables that I declared earlier. And if you're working on a larger project, that's a really time saver. That's really nice. Because you cannot also make a mistake with you cannot make a typo, you misspell a variable, and sometimes really bad happens. Yeah? So the next thing, for SaaS integration, browser refresh, I really love CodeKit. CodeKit does a really good job. Basically, it watches the folder, which I set just to the template folder. And okay, for short interruption, please raise your hands. Does anybody of you know SAS or less? Yeah, most people? Okay. What actually does, it's a way of using programming syntax for style sheets. So I can use variables, I can use methods or functions in declaring style sheets, which makes life a lot easier. If the customer says, but I would like to have everything which is green, I would like to have it in red, it's really easy to accomplish, because you can set the color for fonts or so on to a variable, and you just change that variable and you change it for the whole project. Then you say please compile, and what happens, you get an output of one single CSS file. Yep. So function with variables, okay, functionality is tested, and also it's improved over the time, especially with SAS. You've got also kinds of things like rounded corners or so on with style sheets. And a lot of browsers, they want to have it presented in a certain way. They do not take the base syntax, which style sheets normally would offer. And that'll be taken care of SAS. It does it automatically then. I do not have to worry about it. I cursed myself because I did that manually. I wrote nice PHP classes that would do that. And about 1 month later, I discovered that there's something like SAS out. And I was still happy because it still saved me time. And it's maintained by a lot of people, which makes it easier for everyone to use it and to be more stable and more productive than if I would do it always on my own. Okay, you can make big changes faster for the whole website. And it's really worth the learning curve. There's a learning curve, but it's not too harsh, and it really overall improves the speed of your development.
I mean, is it a matter of preference whether you use OS or SAS?
It's a personal preference, and if I would be developing on a live server, then I most probably would go for less, but I'm not doing it. I'm always testing, developing on a local machine, on a local server, and then I got some advantages that I just prefer.
So if you've launched a site and then it wants changing afterwards, you change it on your local server,
Test
find
it.
and then upload it.
Yeah, test it and then upload it. I also do that because I change the file names. You see later on I got here my bootstrap.css as a file, which has been compiled all the files into. So I do not have 25 different CSS files. I just got one CSS file, which greatly reduces the HTTP request and therefore the performance and the speed of your site. And what I always do then is also I put a timestamp to the name of the CSS file, just to make sure that if somebody got a cached file, and with the server settings I have, they would normally not get the latest CSS file. They may be using some CSS file which has expired 2 years ago. And for that reason, I also do, I do test it on a local server. Then I put a timestamp to the file name, and then I upload it to the file server and said, now take the new file. And that'll take care of a lot of stuff. So what you see here right now at the moment, I tell them to take all these separate files here, grid, tables, forms, and so on, and just take that, import it, and merge it into one single CSS file. And if I do not need something like buttons, forms, or so on, I just could comment that out, and I got even shorter CSS files. Huh? So I can use now variables in CSS, and this is PHP Storm, and it shows me also if I indicate a color here, it shows me on the side which color it has, which is very neat. So I just can go there.
Right.
Yep.
You are editing the provided bootstrap files, aren't you?
No, this are my personal. I took them from GitHub.
Yeah.
The Twitter says bootstrap files, and I implemented them.
Okay. Yeah. And then you're editing them.
Yeah. So, but just take the one that you prefer. Huh? And now load the CSS to my template. Just it loads one CSS file, as you see here. Follow CSS, my bootstrap CSS. That's it. Now we come to CodeKit, which helps me to put it all together, which is very, very nice and handy, because I can set an output folder or output path. I should say, please take that file and create it there where I want to have it. So I can have a folder with all of the fancy development stuff, and I just got a very, very small folder that will actually be used at the website, which is something I like. Hop! It also tells me when there's a new file and it had been created. So there it is. So I got all the comments in there, and I can also say, please make it compressed, no comments, and so on. And then I got a very tiny file, which also reduced loading time. Yeah? For development, this is very nice. You can see, okay, for debugging purposes, crashes there, does not really work there, which file causes it. Just log it up, and then you're done. But for productive reasons, then just say, I want to make it as short as possible, so compress it and ship it. And, which I really love, you can do this also with JavaScript files. So I got now my query, bootstrap, scroll, top.js, and so on, and I tell CodeKit, please take these files and compress them into one single JavaScript file. So that way you can also reduce HTTP requests if you're using on most of the pages always the same JavaScript files. Then there's no need to load them separately. If you use them on all pages, for example, always the 5 same JavaScript files, put it into one file, minify it, and then just use that. So you got fewer HTTP requests, which means also faster loading time and higher performance. So we are nearly there now. Just see how we put it all together. This is something I really like. So this is a normal folder, and I can set also a browser refresh. Huh? So if I put that on, then CodeKit starts an own web server which does the refreshing. And it's clickable, it's browsable, so it just behaves like a normal web server. to the mempro, which already runs in the background. So they're dependent on each other. So you see here workflow.local, and then the port 8888. That's the mempro server. And this one is a CodeKit server here. And that's the one I'll be using. Also, I advise you, you can set up domain endings. Do not, for example, do not use DE or something. It's better to use local, because sometimes if you really use the actually top-level domain that you'll be using, it can have strange behavior sometimes, especially if you try to update things. And so I really advise you just use a different domain ending name, like local for the local development stuff, and then your regular server. By the way, don't use your head, because that ending head tag is required for CodeKit to inject the browser refresh. So otherwise, it can happen that you do not get the browser refresh running, though everything is loaded properly. Because CodeKit needs that to inject the new refreshed style sheets or JavaScripts. And thanks to David Jordan, who helped me finding that fix. So now actually you see here what the moment we're going to do. I got different browsers to test. If you wonder, because there's no Internet Explorer, first I use a Mac, and I really think, or am in the opinion, that the Internet Explorer is not a browser. So we can argue about that later. So actually what I'm doing here, I just take a color picker, and I said, oh, I want to change the background color. I want to make it something more lighter, refreshing, so I take some yellow. I save it. Magic. So if you're using also two monitors, it's so nice. You just work on the big screen, just save, look a bit to the right, see a change, say, oh, what great guy I am. So and it makes it really easy. And you see also I changed the font color, and I just use a color picker, just take it, and it's easier to play around. And also if I design how things behave and how do the colors work, and you just go there in the browser, click, 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 and it's all there. And it's fully functional. So I just want to say thank you. Well, it's nothing special. Try to be nice to people, avoid eating fat food. Really, really good book. Now and then. Get some walk in, and try to live together in peace and harmony with people of creeds and nations. So, Monty Python. So, I'm open for questions, and before you ask for the links, there they are. So, I hope you could take some with you that you could use with your daily life and performance, and yeah. That's about it. I'm open for questions. No questions? Hi, please.
Well, a couple of quick comments actually about PHP Storm.
Yeah.
So the Joomla project actually has a free license for contributors. So for anyone who contributes to the Joomla project, you can get a free license to PHP Storm.
Yep.
And there's also some really nice integrations with PHP Storm. So it'll automatically compile and compress JavaScript in your Sass as well as on the fly.
Yep.
So it just happens seamless in the background, so you don't even have to worry about it.
That's right. That's me.
And I have
And
no affiliations or it's not an endorsement of PHP Storm Get Free.
yeah, it's okay. And I also think PHP Storm is not really expensive. License for a really helpful development tool is very low, or relatively low.
Also a good reason to contribute to the project. Get a free license.
Yeah, but you can do both. You can buy it and contribute. Yes, please.
I just tweeted you with the workflow for the from Awesome.
Yeah.
It wasn't in your presentation. Where can I find it?
Oh, you have that you have to look up because that changes sometimes because there's a site from the Alfred app and the Power Tools app, and they are under constant development. So they got tons of useful workflows out there, and that's the reason why I did not really put a link there. If you can use Alfred, then you can just go on the main project page and also go into the forums and see what they have there.
I'm just new to the workflow stuff, and it's really cool to use it.
Yeah, it is. Also, the Alfred app itself is free, but to make really use of it, you have to buy the Power Pack. Yeah, so the app of the Power Pack is not too expensive, but do not hit me. I do not know the price at the moment.
Can you get it to use with other text editors? Like I use TextMate a lot.
Yes.
Can you get it to incorporate into Alfred?
If you're into it, go to the website of the Alfred app, and then look if there's for Text Wrangler.
TextMate.
Yeah, if there's a workflow for it. Most probably there's something out. I just found amazing stuff there from the research. Normally I just wanted to show you how I use it to start on my development apps. Then I was looking a bit into the workflows and I was just spending there half a day. Wow, that's all possible, and oh, that's cool. And I just took my 2 highlights out. So how much time do we have left? Are we about 2 minutes? Okay, then I just say thank you. Thank you for your patience. And yeah, have a nice day. Bye.